Finnish black metal hails. This time it's a band from Finland that has more or less ceased to exist, or maybe it does still exist. There's no information here whatsoever, but this band called Rivologi is a project dedicated to Pekka Seaton, a famous occultist, also a target for so many comedic moments because of, well, rather questionable role as some sort of a magician, occultist, and kind of a neo-Nazi kind of a leader, you know, hailing to Adolf Hitler and all that stuff. Well, man of many roles, he has clearly inspired a lot of people by his action and talks during the years, and it seems he got a little bit insane later on during his later years before he passed away. Sorry. And I guess it was much related to the death of his son and also alcoholism. Be it as it may, Rivologi is one of those bands that has dedicated all his material, or their material, the lineup is not so public, to the works and talks of Pekka Seaton, and this Johtajamme kuva, which is the picture of our leader, 1944-2003 is right here. He is Pekka Seaton, the occultist master, who was very, very much talking about openly, like sex and, well, semen and all that stuff. And this is the kind of a black metal hail tribute to him and his talks. So I am assuming, because I only have this booklet here, that all these lyrics and other parts are, you know, based on his work. Musically, this is raw black metal that is very much akin to bands such as Ildiarn, but also a bit like Hail Conjure, and another Bestial Burst release from Canada called Doparku, which I just reviewed also. So the riffs here are very simple in nature. They are very raw, kind of even punkish. There's a drum machine that has also distorted sounds, a little bit more like electronic kind of a slapping than actual drums. And this compilation features 20 tracks, which is all these songs more or less from 2008-2013, so full discography as such. And then there are these distorted raw black metal vocals, which then again complement the whole deal here. The thing here is, if you're into raw end of Ildiarn, I mean albums like Strength and Anger especially, then you are pretty much aware what's going on with this kind of music. And that's not a bad thing, really, if you are a big fan of that. Now, I'm quite a big fan of Ildiarn, but most of these, what I would say, copycats, these some kind of worship bands of Ildiarn are not as good. Whereas Hail Conjure does some of the stuff quite nicely, but it's also a little bit different. It falls into a little bit different box, even though we're talking about lo-fi, raw black metal. And then this Doparku, which is quite close to Ildiarn, Strength and Anger in style and all that stuff. It's decent, but it's not clearly as good. Now, Rivologi of all these three mentioned bands is definitely the weakest one of all these Ildiarn worship bands. First of all, the riffs are no good, and this kind of a super raw lo-fi sound isn't exactly, you know, underlining or emphasizing the power of the music. More like pointing out that you really need good riffs in order to make good songs. Now, all the songs are pretty short, as you can pretty much imagine, from 20 tracks, fit in 34 minutes or so. So it's very short and sweet kind of tracks which you have here, and those include these spoken parts. So it's like the actual riffs are even shorter. So the songs are simple and raw and violent and such, but they're also very, very repetitive, and they don't have the kind of a primal energy what I think Ildiarn has. So unless you're a really, really big Ildiarn fan and you like go just that way with the riffs and distorted vocals and production and all, I would say stay the heck out of Rivologi. This is not gonna please most of you, even if you're a big Pekka Seaton fan. Still, this might be a little bit too much to swallow, because this is very, very marginal music even for raw black metal standards. Not super bad, but I think kind of a weak recording. Then again, it's only a demo compilation, so you really can't compare it with, proper studio albums. But there it is. Go check out the samples. There is a Bandcamp link included in the description, so you can pretty much decide for yourself. Have fun with it.